Welcome back to Ben Rants, and when I was a kid, zombie movies didn't have their own genre. Today, I'm ranting on a topic that I take to the heart. When it comes to trying to bring back classic characters, Hollywood manages to truck it up most of the time. Why? They feel that they have to take established characters and tweak them for modern audiences. Well, that ticks me off. So today, I'm ranting on why certain changes aren't needed. For starters, there's the case of cartoon characters being changed. Personally, I believe that classic characters should be left alone. Most Hollywood executives only want to bring back classic characters and reinvent them even though they don't know a dang thing about how animation works, and they just want to do it for money. However, there are times when classic characters are handled by animation lovers who understand the characters, which is when, and only when, I'm willing to make an exception to this little rule of mine. An example of this would be Paul Rudish handling the new Mickey Mouse cartoons. Thank you, Paul. And I'll get to praising the ever-loving heck out of those cartoons eventually. However, seeing as how Hollywood never listens to me, they bring back characters a lot of times, and they manage to truck it up most of the time. One would be Godzilla, my favorite movie monster. Remember when those grassholes Roland Emmerich and Dean Devlin took over the character and thought they could make it more realistic than the classic Japanese movies? Well, that worked so well for them, didn't it? Yeah, not only did Godzilla's design look like crap, but he couldn't breathe fire, he's a sea iguana that can walk upright like a T-Rex, That doesn't make any sense. Also, he's a she, and the army kills him. Her. Whatever. This movie sucks! Listen, morons, if you wanted to make a more realistic Godzilla movie, you should have realized that you didn't have to, as that movie was already made. It's an obscure movie that not many people talk about, but it's really good. I think it's called Jurassic Park, but I could be wrong. That was a play, right? See, that's one of the main problems with changes because executives want the character to appeal to as many wallets as possible, so they hire morons who've only seen pictures of the characters they want to make a movie about, and they write a mainstream-friendly movie. Screw that! When you make a character mainstream, you take away the appeal of that character. Those characters didn't become popular because they were like every other character at the time they were created. They became popular because they stood out among the crowd and were something fresh and new for people to enjoy. When you make something mainstream, you make it like all the other crap we have to deal with. I'm sure you Avatar fans are more than pleased with how M. Night Shyamalan handled your precious series when he adapted that into a movie. Changes aren't limited to characters. Changes can come from anywhere in the entertainment media. For example, music fans usually get ticked off when their favorite artists abandon their signature sound in order to make room for a more mainstream-friendly sound. Remember Metallica when they were good? They transcended thrash metal with fast tempos, loud lyrics, killer guitar riffs, and long drawn-out solos. But then, they threw that all away in order to tone down their style in order to prevent mainstream audiences from getting brain damage from headbanging to their music. The truck is this! This isn't Metallica! There's a reason this album is called Load, because it's a load of spit! That's not all. Rush is guilty of the same thing. After moving pictures, they turned into a techno band, with Geddy Lee exchanging his guitar for a keyboard. Give me a trucking break! Thankfully, they went back to their progressive rock style with Clockwork Angels. It's changes in music like this that make me love AC/DC so much. They've never changed their sound. Sure, they got a little bluesy with stiff upper lip, but they still sounded like AC/DC. There's a reason why certain musicians become popular, because they stand out from the crowd and they don't do what everybody else is doing. Could you imagine if Nirvana was a hair metal band? Neither can I. So, when artists abandon the style that they created which made them popular in the first place, they might as well just flip off their fans. However, I still give them props for having the guts to change their sound and do whatever they want. But, I'm not gonna buy into that crap. My last point is on cartoon characters. Cartoon characters are timeless. They're fictional, and they live on for ages while us humans die off. They are passed down from generation to generation of fans, and they become better with age. So why is it that studios feel they have to take these characters and completely screw them over? Why? Why do the characters have to be updated for modern audiences? Are they afraid kids aren't going to like a cartoon character if it's not relatable to them? And this brings me to the show. Many people say that the characters haven't changed, the situations have. Bull truck. Bugs Bunny is a whining loser in this show, when in the classic cartoons, he was mostly a winner who was able to outsmart his foes in clever ways. Sure, there were some cases where he lost, but but he was still the same character who didn't give up. Now, he's just an average Joe who bad luck gets the best of. That's not Bugs. Of course, some people say that this now makes Bugs Bunny more relatable, because if he won all the time, he would get boring. Bull truck! Bugs isn't supposed to be the same average main character who we see in every other sitcom. He's supposed to be the guy who we all want to be. The guy who's able to fight back against his opponents and win. That's why Bugs became so popular. Because people love seeing a character who didn't put up with other people's crap. So, you trucked up a timeless character like Bugs Bunny and turned him into a dated average Joe who's just a carbon copy of the main guy in every other unfunny sitcom that's on now. There are some cases when changes aren't needed, and if studios are going to reintroduce characters, they need to stay true to the character and not tamper with it. I mean, if a cartoon character was a Nazi during World War II, yeah, I can see why that character should be changed. However, Bugs Bunny is a smart aleck New Yorker who's always using his wits to outsmart his foes, and he's considered dated? What? Do smart alecks not exist anymore? I guess people have never been on the internet. Also, I guess New York has been wiped off the face of the earth by a bunch of rock guardians or something. Bottom line, when it comes to the media, certain changes aren't needed, and they are disrespectful of both fans and the original artists who brought some of these creations to life. There's a difference between reintroducing a character and reinventing a character. Most of the time, Hollywood reinvents a character when they're better off just creating their own character. What? Coming up with our own ideas? How absurd! Anyway, don't get me wrong, some changes are good, like when weird laws are struck down, when the entertainment medium finds new ways to be creative and edgy, or when artists finally find what their specialty is and stick to it. Then, there are some changes that aren't needed, like messing up characters, musicians giving their signature style the middle finger in order to appeal to a more general audience, and rebooting a movie franchise only to screw it up and make it nothing like the original franchise. Sure, you might listen to me talking here. Why? I don't like change! Everything has to stay the same! Well, as the old saying goes, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Thankfully, my creator understands me as a character. I know he won't go mainstream on me. Hey Ben, speak of the angel, how are you doing, Mr. Tannehill? Fine. Anyway, Ben, I hate to tell you this, but YouTube thinks your character is too 6 months ago, so I'm gonna have to update you for a modern audience. Oh, come on! What are you gonna do? Turn me into a brain-dead 14-year-old hipster who hates everything that hasn't been made this decade? Actually, I was just gonna change the color of your hoodie, but that's a better idea. Alright, get ready. Wait! No! No! And that's why Zombieland sucks. That's what it gets for being made in 2009. Anyway, I'm Ben T. Looney and I'm signing out. I'm gonna go stick my arm in a tiger's mouth. YOLO!